Welcome to the CWC Podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Horton.
Shall we?
We shall.
Okay. Welcome to the CWC Podcast, the home for the latest news, rumors, and interviews from around the sport of chuckwagon racing. I'm your host, David Selby, and I am joined by my co-host today, Savannah Smith, and she's also playing producer in many other roles, as you all know. We don't have Andy today. Andy was going to be on here, but he has a migraine. He's hurting. He's in pain. He's in the dark right now. He told us he's in the dark, trying not to move. So
that sucks.
Sending love and prayers to the man. He is responding to our Facebook messages, so we're probably just torturing him by sending like lit up messages on his screen to him. Hopefully he's got it in dark mode. On today's show, we are going to talk about and recap the 11 Point Showdown from Brian Reel and his team down there, Pocahontas, Arkansas. If you were there, you know what it was like. It was awesome. We're going to talk about it today. We're also going to start leaning right into, the Baker-Spain Stampede. It's right in front of us. You're seeing this on Thursday. We're recording it on Wednesday. We're going to talk about it. There's a lot of good stuff coming up and a little hidden feature that we're going to add to this show. We've got some footage we want to share with you. We've been working on the Baker-Spain documentary series, which is called Building Spain. And we're going to show you a snippet from that is chuckwagon relevant at the end of the show today. So stay on, stay tuned. This is the only place you're going to see that snippet. It's all coming up on the CWC Podcast.
I also just want to say the snippet we're using might be my favorite little segment from episode 1. I might be biased. I don't know. It's just really cool.
It slaps, as they say.
It does. That it does.
Slaps a little. Man. How about that 11 Point Showdown?
God, that was such a good event. I was a fan. I think I told David a couple of times throughout the weekend, I cannot put my finger on it. I don't know what it is, but this race has been the most fun to me that we've went to so far. It went by quick. I had a blast.
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun. We, let's see, we got down there Thursday evening, got out there. I went straight out to the track and there was maybe an hour or two of daylight left and all was well. Beautiful weather, no problem. And then right after I got like an interview from Brian Reel and got some drone shots and everything, running around with Jeff Duke, his cousin. We're on the side by side. We're getting some drone shots. We're getting the intro. Like, this is what the place looks like. We give a tour of the farm of the ranch. And then as soon as I pack my stuff up and get in my truck to go, there is this wall moving in. Maybe I'll be smart and send you the photo from that. It's on my phone. Savannah, maybe you can insert. But this wall, I mean, you're just like, this is the kind of wall that produces bad things. And it didn't produce anything other than a monsoon of rain. And that was the story from there on, just like we have been dealing with all year. This rain just comes in and just smacks the ranch, just absolutely so much rain.
Just sloshy, muddy mess.
And then we get out there Friday and they get like 3 different storms that day that just come through, and it's like, here comes all these trailers and trucks, drive over it, make some tracks, let's just hit it with another inch or 2 of rain. Here comes more trucks and trailers, drive all over it, make it more slushy, back up, get stuck, run 4-wheel drive, get pulled out. Let's do another application of water on that while we're at it. That is what it was like on Thursday night and Friday. And then by the time we get out there, they had a concert Friday night, by the way, and a rodeo, which were great. But everybody gets out of there Friday night and then come back in Saturday morning. And I'm like, I'm not even taking my truck to the bottoms. I'm not even doing it. Like, I'm not going to try. I'm not getting stuck down there. There's even a chance of rain that day. And that would have been, if we would have got a 1/4 inch of rain on Saturday to add to what was going on, it would have been, as Justin Reed would say, a complete shit show down there. It would have been an utter mess. And fortunately, we didn't get any more rain on Saturday unless it was like late or like a little sprinkle. But it was, it kind of dried out. And really, the race weekend was great. And actually, I would say that the weather was good. It was good chuckwagon weather. It was hot and humid in Arkansas, and it's what we're used to. But beautiful, beautiful ranch. The way it's set up, like, I hadn't been down there. Brian had told me and showed me some pictures and stuff. And he was like, this place is just set up perfect. And It's so true. You kind of come in off of a hill and you get into the vendor area where the big tent was and all the barbecue. And then you've got the stage over here, hashtag Whiskey Ridge. Thank you for lending that. The rodeo arena. And then you kind of go down into what's really the bottoms, which, every good Chuckwagon race event needs a bottoms. And so you go into the bottoms and, that was where some of the slush was at and stuff, but it was also where the racetrack was, where all people were camping on the tree line. You've got the river running through it. I mean, scenic and beautiful. Loved it.
Speaking of the Mud Friday, I am impressed with the Subaru. There was only one time where I thought I was stuck, and I was like, man, I really did it. And I was at the very bottoms down by Clay and Brad's camp, too. And I come up around the corner, and they meet me in the side-by-side, and I was like, I think I'm stuck. And they told me to go backwards, and I back all the way up and then just floor it. And I make it, and I'm good until it dies on me after the rodeo, and I have to get a jump, but nobody around me has jumper cables. So we got to make our way all the way back down to camp, ask very politely. And I cannot remember the kid's name, but there was a kid down there with a Jeep, and he hammered down and got us all the way up to the top, jumped my car, and I made it back to the hotel just fine.
Man.
And got lost in between.
I was going to say, you didn't make it back just fine. That's not what I heard.
I took a wrong turn. So I was told, go out, make a left, and it's going to run you all the way into Pocahontas. That was true had you taken the road that was the entrance rather than making a left going out at that exit sign, which is what I did. And I just kept making left turns. And then as soon as I had service, I'm 30 minutes across the Missouri state line, 45 minutes away from the hotel.
If you make enough left-hand turns, you end up back at the ranch.
It was a mess.
Yeah, you were messaging me and you were like, you told me like when you left, I think, roughly. No, you didn't, because you didn't have service. You had told me when you were planning on leaving, and I was like, oh, I probably would have heard from her by now. I ended up being out there for just a little bit, but you were shooting the concert stuff. That was what you were sticking around until basically the concert Friday night. And then I didn't hear from you until it must have been after 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
every bit of 10:30, close to 11, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I got back to the hotel before midnight, though. So it might have been closer to 10.
It's still incredible that you were gone that long.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I was cutting a video that night, and so I had cut that tour of the ranch video in my hotel room, and then I was just like, my gosh, she must have really partied hard out there. But you were like, yeah, I got lost. I was like, you didn't get lost, you got lost. Which sucks, because like you don't get service for a while.
No.
Like you don't go, if you go north, like away from their ranch, like you don't get service for a long time. I didn't get service on my GPS for 45 minutes until like I knew where I was going. So fortunately I was good. But yeah, that was so there's no service out there. Oh,
there was Wi-Fi Saturday and Sunday if you were close enough to the big white tent.
They did have some Wi-Fi options. Kudos to those guys. They were thinking ahead. Honestly, that was one of many of the little details that I thought they did a great job on, as far as like just making sure they were able to operate at a high level. They had their walkie-talkies going. Like, I never felt like I was in a position that I wouldn't be able to communicate across the ranch or anything like that. Like, they were prepared.
Right.
They had the medical staff on site. They had the side-by-sides and tractors and everything. Like, nobody that got stuck was like SOL. Like, they had a way.
Now, speaking of, their systems and all the things they had in place, I know you got to talk to the gentlemen that were in charge a little bit more deeper than I did. But from my understanding, the way that they structured their event and modeled it more like a business, less like I don't know what else you would compare that to, but they just went very business forward. And to me, it felt like that's what set the tone for how good the weekend was. I didn't see any bottlenecks that were on their end. So I'm anticipating just kind of refining and building upon what they had going this year, next year.
Yeah, I thought it was neat that like in every, I guess, aspect of their event, they had delegated or prepared really well on the leadership for every kind of aspect, which I guess high level, I would look at that race. I would say, you have your overall visionary, which I would say is Brian Reel. He's the guy that's got to delegate. He did a great job of that. He's just there for anybody that needs anything all the time. I felt like there must have been 6 of that guy down there, because I look around, I see Brian everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't even be naughty out here. Like, I can't even like do something that I wouldn't want Brian to see because he would see it. He's like God in that place. Anyways, not that I did anything bad, Brian, but anyways, he had David Newman, who was in charge of kind of the vendor area, as far as like just championing, like all of the Newman Farms pork stuff that was going on there.
Mhm.
There were many other vendors as well. And then he had his cousin, Jeffrey Duke, who is a seasoned vet on the entertainment coordination and management side of things. So all of his events, the placement of everything, like the traffic flow. I think that Jeff has a great knack for those things. He's got a lot of experience. Like literally, he told me he's got experience with big events. I mean, even like Coachella type things, like big events. So super valuable resource there.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had Curtis Siemens that was just like, I've got it. Like on the rodeo front, like I'm setting it up. We're doing this on grass. I've got all the stock contractors taken care of. I've got the riders and everything. It was taken care of. It was beautiful. It was so cool to see how people just kind of gathered and everything right around there. The concerts, I mean, kudos again to Whiskey Ridge, Cindy and Ty Wheeler, Carl Schultz lending out their stage for these guys in their first year. That was so helpful. And they said that so many times when I was down there. And then you have the wagon race, which, it was a sanctioned race. So the ACWRA picks up the reins there and they do what they do. They've really got it down. And, for 100 to 110 team race, it was awesome. Couple little spills here and there, and it was smooth. I'm probably leaving people out, but man, I thought it was a well-oiled machine for being like a first-time event. I don't know if I've seen the first event go quite as well as that, which is saying a lot about all aspects.
Been to some really good races coming out of the gate.
Yeah, just I think across the board, I just was very, very happy. And I mean, you can always pick things apart, like you can say like, oh, this was a bummer or that was a bummer, but like, I just don't really have anything to complain about. I mean, there's the stuff that was tough was out of their control, and that was the weather. And at that point, we all expected it.
I can't even really complain about that because, like I said, I got around pretty well.
Yeah, you and the Subaru did a good job. Knock on wood, I didn't get stuck. I was all good. Didn't have to get pulled out. My battery didn't die either. So, all in all,
Can't win them all.
Probably a couple more things we could throw down. But what do you say we get through these results recap real quick here? Yeah. And then we can maybe circle back around to some notables from the weekend, and then we'll keep pushing forward here. But let's go at it here. And bear with us here. We're going to read this straight off of what ACWRA shared from their notes for the results from the weekend. I can see what you mean by maybe we should have put these in order. I'm going to read off the top three finishers in each one of these. So first place in the big horse rubber tire, looks like it was Tennessee Whiskey, and it looks like they ran a 55.26. Second place, BS Racing. Third place, Freight Train. 46-inch mules. That's all you. Go for it.
All righty. So we had Seuss Pond coming in with a 101.36. Second place was Hickory Plains Outlaw, 103.26. And then third place, Ain't Scared with a 104.99.
Ain't what?
Ain't Scared.
Scared.
Ain't Scared.
46-inch ponies. Looks like team one of Heat 1. It was the Outlaws. They got it done with a 54.56. And we'll talk more about the Outlaws here in a minute. And second place, Twisted Spoke. They got it 55.25. And third place goes to Going Nuts, number 1, with a 56.09.
All right, so 52-inch ponies. First place was D&D Farms with a 52.60. Second place was Tennessee Whiskey with a 53.26. And then third place was Crossroads Express, 57.99.
Awesome. 52-inch mules. Run it back here. Coming undone. They got it done, 54.63. Second place was Pitchin' a Fit with a 54.72. Oh, man. Just a point 1 basically of a second there. Super close. Third place, Diamond KC 56.24.
All right. I don't know what's next. I don't even see. I see heat 2, 3, and 4. What we got?
Might have to break it down by. Is that? Oh,
all right. So I'm recognizing Bob's Baby. So this is Big Mules.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know if it's 4 up or if it's just Big Mules. I think it's Big Mules. Let's come back to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with Buckboard. Buckboard, first place, Bad Company, 49.87. Second place, Full Throttle Loca with a 50.39. I swear we have seen them place every race this year, or nearly every race. And then
rolling.
Raring to Go, third place with a 54.28.
Yeah, I just think that the Buckboard is going to be very, very competitive this year. I was talking to Bad Company, Cameron Martin. The number one thing that I took away from that was he said this was the first time he's ran them, I think, since Clinton. I could be wrong on that. I think that's the first time he ran his ponies since Clinton last year. And he was like, I was afraid that they may not have any gas in the tank. Like he's like, they've just been out there like grazing around with the cows. And I was like, it looks like they've been out there running around with the cows, man, because they were hauling around the track. So they got it done. Congrats, guys. Hopefully that he also said that Cameron Martin got a little bit of an upgrade on his job situation, so he plans on being at more races this year, so that's exciting. Hopefully we'll see Mike Johnson back. He just had a birthday, I believe. Happy birthday, Mike Johnson. All right, let's get into the youth. You want to take it?
Yeah, I know. We were trying to figure out where that missing page was supposed to go to. All right, so ponies 8 and under. First place goes to Going Nuts number 1, Wade Nut with 11.35. Second place is Going Nuts number 2, Delilah Nut, 11.76. Riley Pillow coming on with Bent Shake Ranch, 12.09.
Riley, you do get first place for best of show.
Yes. She comes and gives me a hug every time she sees me now. It's so freaking sweet.
Yeah, she scared me. She scared me at the awards ceremony. She hugged me so hard from behind.
Nearly take your leg out?
She almost took me out.
Yeah, that's what happened at Whiskey Ridge.
It was a good hug. I could tell that it was when Danny, I want to say Danny Little, when Danny Wilson's not there from Trump Train, it shows. She had to take out some of those hugs on me and other people. So Danny Wilson, that's your call out. Ponies 9 and up, first place, Down Bad, Ellison Whitworth. Second place, split decision, Austin Pruitt. Got it done with a 12.59. Sorry, 11.51 in first place there. Third place goes to the Desperados, Kyler Weaver with a 13.06.
Woo woo. All right, Mules 8 and under. We've got first place, Hickory Plains Outlaws, Swade Wiles with a 14.04. Second place is Clay Ain't Scared, Clay Myatt, 14.62. And then Corbin Ain't Scared, his brother, Corbin Myatt, we've got 14.80. And then
brotherly love.
Yeah. They are the most adorable little boys. I love watching them run around.
They are adorable.
All right, Mules 9 and up. We just had 2 competitors there, but we had Easton Parts with Buck Wilds taking first place with a 14. Is that a 1440? Is it a 1440 or 1490? We'll say 40 because it makes them faster. And then Ain't Scared Austin Pruitt taking second place with a 1524.
And it looks like there's a little note here that where's Robbie JD Bradley
I'm glad
was actually third place there with an 1809. Good job, JD. Almost missed you, buddy.
My bad.
I got a good high five from JD down there.
I got him waving to the camera too in his wagon.
He was working it. Okay, Outriders 8 and under. Looking at Raven Rutledge with a 1051, flying. Leighton Parks a 1203. Pretty sure Leighton was riding Daddy's horse this week, which good job, man. Tulsa Nut 1334, third place. Good job, Tulsa.
This is hard to read. All right, Austin Pruitt, first place with an 861. Second place goes to Ellison Whitworth with a 920. And then third place is Callie Hart with a 928.
Ooh, Ellison just got you. Okay, here's where we found the big mules. Big mules, first place.
We got Desperados, number 2, the 5924.
Yeah, keep helping me out because I clearly have not figured out.
Way down there. Second place, Diamond S Express with a 5939, and then Seriously Dumber taking third with a 196.
Brianna Harp, just want to say hello. Thank you for being out there racing. Good to see you again. You look well. Excited to see you at more races. Welcome back this year. And okay, so then we got to get into the classic from there. Classic number 1 goes to BS Racing. And there was, I thought watching, even though we only had one heat, I really enjoyed watching the classic because, County Line Bunch is flying around the track out there. I'm really excited to see them at Clinton this year. And BS Racing, isn't making it easy. But the fastest time of the weekend was the fastest wagon time, didn't have an outrider, 55.68 from County Line Bunch. And then BS Racing wins it with a 59.67 because they got an outrider. So keep working on that outrider situation, County Line Bunch. Get it all together. You never know.
It did feel like we were watching a match race, though, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I know that the classic is the hardest one for everybody to put it together, and so we usually don't get as many wagons there. But, whew, man, it's good to see them when they do.
Division.
Okay, Adult Land Rush. I'm gonna run this through here. First place, Ain't Scared, Austin Pruitt. I think that's a 15.12. Yeah, 15.12. And the outrider situation, I don't know if I'm seeing a first place on here, but I'm going to assume it's Aaron Allen from Twisted Spoke.
I feel like I remember that. For 52-inch mules, it looks like they only paid out one place, and it was Pitch and a Fit with a 50.09.
Well done. Okay. You know what? Todd Eldred's calling me. I'm just going to get it. Hey, Todd, we're on the CWC podcast. How can we help you today?
Oh, I don't want to know such a podcast. What I was called about was Savannah tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
As we get ready for the deal. So I will catch you later. But, hey, everything's going good at Stampede today.
Right on, man. No rain?
Getting a lot. No rain. We had a little rain last night, but not a lot. We're getting a lot of things done today. Getting a lot of things marked off for our list. And it's looking really, really good.
Right on. Todd Eldred from the Baker-Spain Stampede. Excited to see you, Todd.
Yep, we'll see you here later this week.
All right,
I'm so
see you, buddy.
excited. So, speaking of that, porta potty race. I had never seen that before. 11 Point was my first time. They did it in an arena. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing footage from Baker-Spain where that's in the pasture. Do we know if it's going to be in the pasture again this year or if it'll be in their new arena?
It's they do not hold. I guess it depends on how you classify pasture. It's really on their racetrack, so it's like
it's pasture, like pasture.
It's really, yeah, like right there in front of Spectator Hill at Baker-Spain, they do theirs, which is just like a bigger. It's a much longer distance for them to cover, dragging those people in the porta potties across the field. So that's really the biggest difference.
I'm so excited.
But I liked the kind of the petite setup that rodeo arena was, and it kept it moving. Sometimes those things can really drag on if you've got a lot of entries and stuff, especially like trying to because the porta potty almost always just falls over, and so the porta potty falls over, and sometimes the rope comes off, or it just like pulls the lid off the top of it, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're never going to get them across the line, but yeah, that was pretty fun to watch. It's a pretty action-packed week down there. I did want to mention a quick call out. There was a message sent to me through Facebook that I wanted to kind of just carry this right on over from Glory to God. Where did I put this note? There it is.
I believe.
Glory to God food trailer down there, Kelly. Wanted to extend a big thank you to everyone who made purchases at their trailer. They had a big weekend at the 11 Point Showdown, had some really neat offerings. The thing that really caught my eye was that they actually have a kids menu, and that's not something that you see very often at these food trucks. And I understand that pricing has to meet them coming out there, it's very expensive to have and operate a food truck. You're like trying to prepare how much food for how many people, and there's a lot of times there's food that is excess, and it's hard to gauge that. And so it's cool that instead of having to pay like whatever $10 to $15 for just another item for your kid to have something, they actually have like a kids menu that's way more affordable. It's great for the kids. I just think it's really clever. So kudos to those guys. They also mentioned to me that their ministry is through their food trailer, and that they always have cold dollar bottles of water, and that they just they have a big heart for the service that they provide, and that they never want anybody to not be able to be fed. And like I said, it's part of their ministry is operating through their food trailer. So I thought that was really cool. So big weekend for them. I think they ran out of food 2 different times because they were #blessed, if you know what I'm saying.
Those burgers are good, I'm telling you.
All right. What other notes do we have from this weekend?
We had Felix and Steven.
Oh, man.
And their saga.
Our brothers from the UK.
Mm-hmm. And then Nancy Pillow's really good crackers that no one could quit eating at camp. I had to give them back to Brad. They were addictive.
She puts the crack in cracks. I mean, like you cannot stop eating those. This is some good stuff. Mm-hmm. Gosh, that really got us off the UK thing. But those guys, so for those that don't know, we had a couple of guys that were from the UK who had been kayaking down the Mississippi River. You can go check them out on Instagram. But they're documenting their trip and stuff. And these guys had never been to a chuckwagon race, let alone a rodeo. And so they come in. What was it, Friday that they came in, and they just got that Southern hospitality from Nancy Pillow and Clay Robinson, that group of people that were over there, that camp, and they got the experience, the Chuckwagon experience. Oh, yeah. And you were actually down there a little bit more than I was, but from where I was sitting, these guys, like, they went all the way as far as to get into wagons. They each rode individually in different events and rode as cooks. Mm-hmm. And Felix gets off of his ride, and I can't remember the team right now. We'll show the clip, but it all just happened. Like, it's like, oh, there he is. He's in a wagon right now. And I didn't even know. I guess I didn't realize that was happening, but I was down on the field, and sure enough, he gets off and he walks over right after his ride, and the interview was fantastic. We'll probably show it right here.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Oh.
What do you say?
Well, I was terrified, excited. My voice is a bit hoarse from screaming. Oh, that was amazing. Oh. And I almost managed to cock up the simplest bit, the first bit. Oh, that was extraordinary.
Just hilarious and awesome. It's really refreshing as somebody that goes to all these races and just sees people racing time after time after time, to see someone as an adult who comes in literally foreign to it and jumps in a wagon and gets that experience. And he was mind blown. Just awesome to see the response.
Yeah, him and Steven both. Steven, I forgot which team he rode with, but they won 3rd place, and they had already left, so he couldn't be in the award ceremony.
Yeah, which they're packing so light already to travel all the way down the Mississippi River. It might be for the best that he didn't have to tote that plaque, that lit up plaque.
Fair, yeah.
For 3rd place. But congratulations to those guys. It was cool to see somebody come in and get that experience that I'm sure that they will never, ever forget that for the rest of their days.
They left as card-carrying members of the Arkansas Chuckwagon Racing Association.
That's pretty cool. We've gone international, baby.
We have.
That's awesome. Notable wrecks from the weekend.
This one scared me. I was too far away to know everything was okay.
Yeah, the one that I think everybody would have been talking about was the Outlaws and their wreck.
Derek Hands, I believe.
Oh yeah. It was Outlaws versus Derek Hands, and there was a collision at the starting line where everybody's turning left. Obviously, Derek Hands, they shot out just a little quicker, while there was a little bit more of a stall on the Outlaws, if I'm remembering this all correctly. And it was just one of those T-bone type situations where they ran right through the Outlaws wagon. It all gets tangled up, and slowing it all down. You've got Julie and you've got Jagger, and they end up on the ground, and Julie,
she
Mama
immediately
Bear
covers him up. She has got him wrapped up.
Wraps him up, and then I think even shoves him out of the fray, out of the mess, and
JD comes running over, immediately picks him up, carries him out of the way.
Kind of one of those scary situations, definitely as a parent, man, that scares the poop out of me. These things, they don't happen a lot, but when they do, they can be scary. And thank goodness everybody's okay, everybody's all right. And they took a moment there and checked Jagger out, and he was, guess what, back up on his horse for the youth. And he's a cowboy.
He's a tough little cookie.
He is.
All those kids are tough little cookies. God bless.
Yeah, tougher than me, for sure.
All right, so you were telling me about some new signage at Baker-Spain. What's that about?
Yeah, so let's transition into what we're going to be looking forward to at the Baker-Spain Stampede coming up. We will come out with a show where we hit on the lineups next week, and that will be revealed once the ACWRA officials are done putting everything together. We'll get that most likely Sunday or Monday, and then we'll put that on the show in the middle of the week. But yeah, there's just been so much going on this year, and obviously we've been there filming once or twice a week, and we're gearing up for Building Spain, the TV series that we've been doing. And there's just they've just gone all in again this year. Last year was big with them putting in all the permanent structures, but again, this year they're hitting it hard. And I've got some notes here I'll share. So the entry gate, this is good to know if you are an ACWRA member. You must show your ID and your membership card whenever you come to the gate to do your entry. To pay to enter, it's that typical membership amount. I know that there could be frustration. I understand people's frustration. Like, hey, here's my card. Just let me in. You need to have your ID available. These guys do, with their event, with the concerts and everything that they have to keep track of. They are managing lists for literally thousands and thousands of people. And there are even so many association members at this point that's even a long list to look through, let alone all the people that are coming in that purchase their tickets online on Stubwire and stuff. So just a heads up, just have your ID and your membership card prepared so that they can make that as quick as possible and get you inside. They do have 6 lanes of entryway now at their ticket booth out front, which you'll see there's a whole new structure there now. And they should be processing people quickly. And I'm sure the earlier in the week that you get there, the more you'll kind of get to see them kind of wearing off all the rust, from having just taken a year off, basically, since October, when they would have had Party in the Pasture. So as you go around the ranch this year, you will see that they have new signage. They have updated all of their branding. We were honored and privileged to help them in rebranding this year. And so you're going to see that everywhere. You're going to see a new entryway when you come through that front gate, and that is a really cool thing to behold. And then they're going to have literal street signs, metal signs, to help you navigate your way around the ranch this year. And then we also have a video that we'll be putting out where Josh is kind of speaking to us, the viewers, about where to go if you have electric campsites, et cetera, et cetera. He's going to kind of walk you through that, and we'll show video from the drone, from the camera, to kind of supplement all of that, to give you just a little bit more of a glimpse into what you can expect when you go down there. We want people to be as informed as possible going down there, and also know that traveling in and out of the concert area is going to be a better situation this year, because they've actually widened not only all the roads, 3.5 miles of roads, and chip and sealed them. They also, on that bridge that has historically been a one-way, one vehicle bridge, they've taken the bridge out. They've put down a permanent bridge now that's like built from the ground up, and they've put culverts under that for the river to run through it, and it's two lanes wide. Basically, you can get vehicles going to and from, and there's also an exit if you run along the south side of the racetrack that'll take you out on the south side and take you out back around to the front office. So you'll see that video. Look out for that this week. It'll talk about some rules and some things like that too. Another thing to just be aware of when you're down there this year, and you're going to see disclaimers for this around the ranch, that we will be filming. We will have the Chuckwagon channel crew out there filming, and we'll be filming for Building Spain, amongst other things, promotional video, the things that we normally film, things that were, full race days, that'll be on the Chuckwagon channel, things like that. So just a heads up on all that. And we also today are going to show you guys at the very end of this show, the first time we've released anything out there publicly about anything from this show. Basically, it will be the Chuckwagon portion of episode 1, which is kind of going back into episode 1, really explores 2024 at the Baker-Spain Stampede and leading up to it and everything. But that Chuckwagon part, we wanted to fight to get that on here for our viewers so that you guys can kind of see some of that race day stuff. And I think you guys will see some footage in there that maybe you haven't even seen before, because a lot of it's from the ground, from those exciting, like close-up type shots that aren't always built into our full day race edits. So make sure that when you see it, you tag the people or call those people out, let them know that they're in there and that they need to make sure that they watch the show.
Our editor has made you guys look very badass in this clip.
Yeah.
I hope I get hyped watching it.
Yes, and there's a lot more to come from that show. So get excited. Building Spain, it's happening, and also to come this week. If not at the very end of the week, it'll be like the very start of next week. We plan to put out an official trailer that is about 3 minutes long, and that's going to kind of be more of a blanket trailer to kind of hit on what the show is. Obviously, we don't even know what happens at the end of this show because we're still filming it, and it's the beauty of
written.
Yeah, it's the documentary filmmaking life. We're just over here assuming that there will be an ending. Maybe there won't be. We don't really know. So we're gonna just put it out there that we've got a promo, and we're hoping that everybody likes it. So be watching out for all of that. And I think that kind of hits on everything. The last thing that I really want to do here is I want to run through their week of events for the Baker-Spain Stampede. I know a lot of times we're talking about this kind of at the start of the week when we're going into a weekend or whatever, but this whole thing starts on Saturday the 21st. That is a couple days from now. And just, it's set up so much around their concerts. And so really what the additional piece of this is to be open Saturday and Sunday before the week starts is that they're bringing in a bluegrass band, actually several bands, Saturday night, June 21st, and that's really going to open things up. They will start Saturday morning at 9 a.m. It's what that says on here. I don't know if that's totally right. There might be a correction out there, but they're doing horse cutting in the first part of the day. I was hearing rumors that maybe that was supposed to be in the afternoon, but the gates open at 9 a.m. So at least know that, and then know that Dirty Grass Soul will be opening ahead of East Grass Nash, who is opening for Rhonda Vincent. So call it a primer, an opener, and a headliner if you want to. All happening there on Saturday. And then Sunday is more of a like, hey, if you came in that early and you want to stay the whole week, then I think you technically are kind of paying for the weekend before you pay for your week-long Monday through Sunday, which is more of your traditional Baker-Spain Stampede. They're kind of testing the waters this year. So from there, we pick it up on Monday. You want to just pick it up on Monday?
Yeah. All right. So Monday morning, we've got 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. horse cutting, 5 p.m. cattle drive, 6 p.m. donkey sorting, and we've got a Chuckwagon dinner with live music by Lindsay Creek at 7 p.m.
Right on. June 24th. That is Tuesday, 9 a.m., 1 p.m. horse cutting yet again, 9:30 a.m. organized trail ride for you trail riders out there. 5 p.m. open 4D barrel race. And at 7:30, they're going to have their steak dinner and live music by Clay Self. And Clay Self is a great solo performer. I've seen him down there at Buzzard Bar at Big Cedar Lodge, which not because I'm a frequenter to staying at a very nice place like Big Cedar Lodge, but because I've actually shot a lot of photos and videos for people down there, and also know a guy that plays down there whenever Clay is not performing. So he's the number one dude that they have had for a long time down there at Buzzard Bar, and he's worth seeing.
All right, so Wednesday we've got a 10 a.m. Pendleton-style calf roping and breakaway roping. And I feel like I should know what this is, and my parents probably would, but I do not. So I'm interested. And then 5 p.m. bell race at the track. We'll also have the wild donkey race going on. And then at 7:30 p.m., we'll have an opener, Stephen
McWhirter.
All right, so at 7:30 p.m., we've got the opener,
Yeah, it's
Stephen
7.
How do you say that?
It's McWhirter.
McWhirter. All right, 7:30, we've got the opener, Stephen McWhirter, and then Kane headlining.
Yeah, and I know that church night is Wednesday night. It's I just recommend that if you can be there for church night, it will. If you haven't been to a church night at the Stampede, I just highly recommend it. There's no pressure or anything like that. We say church night, like, sometimes you walk into a church and they're like, hey, put your hands in the air if you're a sinner, and it's like, I don't want to put my hands in the air if I'm a sinner. There's none of that. Like, go in there, just witness and behold what church night is, and it may open your heart just a little bit. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to participate. You don't have to do anything at all. But I think
witness.
it's a great thing. It's a great way to set the tone for the weekend. We are preparing a video, and we're going to be, I know that they're supposed to honor Donnie Compton, who had an accident last year, has been making strides in his recovery from a brain injury that he suffered last year. And that's going to be a really, really powerful night. So I hope people show up for that. Thursday, 9 a.m. horse/UTV poker run starts. So that's for everybody, whether you are on a UTV or a horse. 10 a.m. high, then low number team roping. 3 p.m. poker run check-in. 5 p.m. lonesome dove challenge.
What is
men's and ladies only division. Men's and ladies only division. 8:30 p.m. opener. Larry Fleet and Tracy Bird will be the headliner there. And that just goes right into a big weekend. Friday's a big day. What is that looking like?
Oh, hold on. I've got a question. What is the Lonesome Dove Challenge?
It's, if I remember right, it is one guy that has to, it might be that he has to go rope a steer and get it into a pen on a trailer or something. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it's cool because it's very much like it's a on your own like challenge kind of thing. It's a very competitive deal, and I couldn't tell you exactly because I don't remember perfectly right now. My brain doesn't operate in years, just day at a time.
All right. So Friday, 9 a.m. horses only poker run. 9 a.m. pasture roping. Noon, we've got the Noon Blind Bandit UTV run. Poker run check-in at 3 p.m. 5 p.m. we've got Mini Bronc, Youth Ranch Rodeo, Porta Potty races, which I'm especially excited about. And then at 8:30, this is going to be a big one. We've got opener Cassius Culpepper and Whiskey Myers headlining. I know that's going to be a good time.
Oh man, yeah, Whiskey Myers. It's going to be a huge crowd. It's going to be gigantic. Really.
They played at Clinton several years back, and I remember seeing them there. But this is going to be a whole other level, especially with the setup, the way the crowd's set up, as opposed to at Top of the Hill in Clinton.
Yeah, they have really climbed the country music ladder to the point that they're huge. I mean, they're gigantic. They're getting to where they're, about as big as you get out there, and for a band. And yeah, I remember seeing them years ago in Springfield at Midnight Rodeo. I mean, just like a small, like
dive bar.
I mean, it's a dive bar, yes, in a way, but it's really it's a country bar. And so there's like a huge dance floor, Sometimes there would be a bowl that you could ride in there, several different bars, and like all around the room, and just like all kinds of line dances happening. But occasionally, a nice, quaint venue for a band that's up and coming, or a hometown type band. And it was a huge party. I remember it was really good. Couldn't have told you what one of their songs were back then or something, but you could just tell that they were legit, and they've come a long ways. I just like randomly was watching Yellowstone a couple of years back, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's Whiskey Myers on Yellowstone as well as like a band that's playing in a bar. So they've gone big. And speaking of Yellowstone, let's just talk about Saturday.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Luke Grimes is the headliner Saturday evening, but it's gonna kick off the day 9 a.m. all girl triathlon. So it's not your typical like
run, swim, ride, run, swim, bike.
Well, no, it'll be it's Western geared. So I don't know exactly what the events are. It's kind of like your extreme cowgirl event, but it will be focused on, I think, just 3 things. So it's a little bit more simplified, a little bit bigger punch. 10 a.m. weigh in and measure. Yeah, that makes sense for the Chuckwagon racers. 10 a.m. drivers meet, or 11 a.m. drivers meeting. That's pretty standard. 11 a.m. horse pole also. 12:30 p.m. the Chuckwagon races with the bronc stomping at intermission. So just keep in mind that starts at 12:30, not 1 o'clock. Probably a good thing because they have a huge program that day. 5 p.m. they will have the ranch rodeo with the Barbie Jeep races, which is fun. 8:30 p.m. Chancey Williams opening for Luke Grimes. And I say, speaking of Yellowstone, because he's known as Casey on Yellowstone. And from what I've heard, the pit tickets have been selling well there because the ladies love him, which I can see why. He's a good looking guy. So how's it going to wrap up on Sunday? I wonder.
Sunday, our short day, they're going to host Western Church at 10:30 a.m. I remember last year that was a huge turnout, and Jordan was talking about scrambling for chairs everywhere. So I would love to see that crowd grow. Mm-hmm. And then at 1 p.m., we're going to have the Chuckwagon races with the awards ceremony 30 minutes following.
It's going to be a huge weekend. It's packed. Go to their Facebook page for the Whiskey Ridge. I'm sorry, not Whiskey Ridge. Love you guys, Whiskey Ridge. You guys are still on. They've been on mind. Baker-Spain Stampede. Go check out their Facebook page and see their lineup of events. They keep that pinned at the top of their page, so you'll find it very quickly if you look there. And it's going to be a really, really big week. It's going to be a huge week for us because we will be filming every day and just trying to capture the story of this thing so that we can continue to put the word out there about what these events are, grow the sport of chuckwagon racing. It's going to be exciting to see how this show goes. So, again, get over to chuckwagonchannel.com, relive the ride. It is $11 a month, $99 a year. We would love to have you. We appreciate you guys supporting what we do and allowing us to do what we love. And we will see you out on the track.
All right. Enjoy this little clip.
Who's ready to have a little chuckwagon races on a Saturday afternoon, huh? We got 80 teams gathered with us here today for the chuckwagon races.
I think it's such a unique sport. It's NASCAR tied to a horse. In the past, Matt and Paul, they got the judges together, they ran the race. In the last few years, we were just getting like 30 teams to show up for chuckwagon racing. And so, joining the Arkansas Association race, this year, we are all hands off. That comes with some concern your first year of, okay, how's this gonna be? Are they gonna get them up to the line? Are they gonna put on the show that we're expecting to, feed the crowd?
We are coming to the line right here. High, low, hard, and fast, and too stupid to stop. Here we go, we're underway.
And they did. It was a phenomenal deal. There was a few things that I think are going to get better. Now that they've been here, they kind of see how things need to be set up to get them to the line quicker for takeoff. ago in an hour and a half drive up here and watching horses tied to wagons and people in the back of the wagon flying around a track. You just don't see that. And that's probably why people call us crazy.
When you run it out of life, need to get unstuck, so golf. When you're up against the wall and you cannot fall, so golf, go off, go off, golf, so golf, go off, go off, golf, go off, go off, go off, golf, so golf, go off, go off, golf.
Thanks for listening to the CWC podcast.